What's up, everybody? This is the Dear PlayStation Blogcast coming to you live, not really live, but coming to you with our first episode, our pilot episode, as you would say. Hello to all the listeners on audio track or podcast track, and hello to all those listeners on the YouTube channel. This is something we want to start. This is something we want to do in accordance with our new website, Dear PlayStation Blogcast, our blog at Wix. Restart. My name's John. I'm part of the Dear PlayStation Blog team, and I have.
My name is Chris, the other man on the Dear PlayStation Blog team, and I think our website is dearplaystationblog.wix.com/dearplaystation.
That's it.
We'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get it. This is only our first episode. Hopefully, we'll have more episodes. If we don't have any more episodes, you know what happened. This episode is crap. But anyway, we welcome all those new listeners and all those who are interested. Thank you so much. We probably will hopefully get more than one other listener on this thing.
Would be nice.
But you know what?
We'll get there.
Even if we get one, we're perfectly happy with that. Hopefully we get more. All right, so with introductions, again, I'm John. One half of the Dear PlayStation Blog team. I decided to create this blog last year as like a side thing for because I love PlayStation, because I love everything PlayStation, because I was inspired by, of course, our now fellow podcasters at Podcast Beyond. And exactly, Beyond. And the PlayStation Blogcast, and I was inspired by them and just the way they talked about PlayStation. I know that the PlayStation Blogcast is obviously a PlayStation Blogcast, the official one, so they can't really talk about their opinions too much, but they do give what they can give. And of course, Podcast Beyond, very big inspiration for this podcast and for this website, because they're just awesome guys at IGN who don't really care whether PlayStation likes them or not. Obviously they want to be liked by PlayStation, but they just give awesome offhanded comments or offhanded opinions about the PlayStation brand. And so that's what I kind of want to do here, is just give another take on PlayStation and the PlayStation brand and the PlayStation ecosystem, because to be honest with you, I loved it. I've loved it since I was in elementary school with the first PlayStation back in 1990. Well, for me, 1995, and my first big game being Final Fantasy VII, which has really got me into I have it right here, to be honest with you. Right here.
Mine's buried in a box.
Still in the box. Which is kind of my big inspiration, or not inspiration, kind of my big first huge game that really got me into the PlayStation brand on the original PlayStation. But for me, that's what really got me into it. And then the rest is history with PlayStation 2. Such awesome games on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, I'm sure Chris will say the same thing. PlayStation 2 was what really sunk my teeth in to the PlayStation.
Really solidified that passion. Just so many great things on there.
How about you, Chris? Tell us about your history with PlayStation real quick.
Well, I was inspired to do this from when Jonathan had introduced me to the Extra Life campaign, which we'll be talking about a little later on. The whole idea of just gaming and doing something good. So instead of having that stigma where all the gamers do is just spend time by themselves in their basement, all locked up, and
right.
not doing anything worthwhile.
Exactly.
It's a crock, So I was like, why don't we should do something. We should, there are guys out there doing Extra Life. There's people doing the St. Jude's ones as well.
Right.
Where they're taking, gamers are actually a really great community. And I think a lot of people don't see that, and so
definitely.
I had the idea of kind of starting something where it's gaming for the greater good is what I want to do.
You can check that out on our site. We're gonna have a little sidebar called Gaming for the Greater Good, and hopefully Chris will head it up, and I will be a part of that too. But exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
So we decided to join forces and get this thing going. I love the whole Dear PlayStation Blog idea. It's fantastic.
You want to tell them a little bit about
just revisiting those videos? I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best.
We'll tell them about if they don't know those videos, because maybe we have a lot of our listeners are going to be around the teenage
Not as old as we are.
Yeah, exactly. Today I'm a teacher. I'll say that right now, I'm a teacher, and I was in class, and this kid was like, I was born in 2005, and I was like, damn, how many things weren't made in 2000.
Yeah,
You know,
he missed
made
a lot
before
of great
2005,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
Like he wasn't even. I mean, to put in perspective, he wasn't even born when 9/11 happened, right?
Right.
And he was, and the question was like, you know, I asked them, like, we were doing, I was helping them do a project on Microsoft and the Bill Gates Foundation. I was like, how many people know who Bill Gates was?
Right.
Nobody raised their hand. Is that crazy?
They didn't know.
No, nobody raised their hand because they,
Really?
you know, they weren't alive during his heyday. You know, of him creating Microsoft, of him, you know, blah blah blah. But anyway,
That's crazy.
but they probably weren't even alive. They might have been alive.
Maybe
They were really young when those commercials came. Anyway, tell us about those commercials, Chris. Yeah.
If you recall, if you're a PlayStation fan, or maybe you caught it on TV, way back when PS2 was really, or was it 2?
PS3.
PS3 was really making a push, and they hired Kevin Butler to come in and do
Is that
these.
his real name, by the way?
I think it is.
Okay.
It should be.
If it's
If it's
not,
not, it
someone
really
will
should be.
come. Yeah, exactly. He should legally change his name to Kevin Butler.
Absolutely.
'Cause that's
if
what he'll
you're
always
watching
be.
this for some strange reason, change your name. Just like Shuhei should change their names.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they ran this whole string of commercials where it was people sending in messages to PlayStation, and it started with, "Dear PlayStation, I have so-and-so problem. You know, look it up on YouTube. You'll see tons of these. They were probably the best,
Yeah.
you know, video game ads I've seen in a long time, and they're still good.
Yeah.
To this day, you could run them today, and they'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Just go to YouTube, type in "Dear PlayStation" commercials. They're the best. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, hopefully in the future we can rip them, and then hopefully I can insert maybe one of them into the thing.
Or something. Yeah,
But hopefully we'll see. We'll start figuring this out. But yeah, no. So that's pretty much the inspiration behind the name. It'd be really cool, you know. A lot of podcasts have their like little mottos. Like I know Beyond is Beyond, and you know whatever all these other podcasts. But we probably won't shout out Dear PlayStation. But I think
the same ring.
it does. It does. It has a really cool ring to it. I think it definitely does. And I think we're harking back and we're paying homage, really. Homage, right? H is silent. Homage.
This depends on where you're from.
Okay.
Maybe like herbs and herbs. I don't.
Yeah. We're paying homage to really our PlayStation because to us that's what it's really about. And so those commercials, I grew up on those commercials. Chris loved those commercials, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, check them out on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, Dear PlayStation commercials. If we get if you guys want to email us, you can email us at dearplaystationblog at gmail.com. We will try to get this out to you every single Thursday or Friday. It depends what time. It took us like an hour and a half to figure out how to do this thing because this is our first one, but we finally got it. And so hopefully I'll get it out to you guys by tomorrow. The YouTube videos will definitely be out only on Fridays just because they take forever to process, especially on YouTube.
We'll learn things. We'll get better.
But if you're gonna email us or tweet us, tweet Dear PlayStation or email us starting with Dear PlayStation, just like the commercials, because that's what we want.
We'll read it right off just like that.
Exactly. All right. So we're gonna get into this, but before we get into this, I think we should just say like some of our favorite PlayStation games of all time, whether it's PS1, PS2, PS3, or right next to me, the PlayStation 4.
Almost everything.
So like just name a couple of them, so listeners can get kind of get what our style is, what kind of games we like, what kind of games we enjoy. I think, of course, me and Chris are, from what I know from Chris and from, of course, I know myself, I think that we have a big variety of range of games that we like.
I think so.
I mean, there's not really a genre. I can't say my favorite genre is action adventure because then, I love shooters and I love puzzle games and I love, all these type of games. But anyway, what about you? Like, what are some of your type of favorite games growing up?
I've gravitated towards different games as I've gone through like different phases of my life.
No, exactly.
Like when I was younger and had all kinds of extra time to burn.
Yeah.
I loved RPGs. I could easily sink 60, 80 hours into a really great RPG, and I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, no. I was
Nowadays, hearing that, even though I've spent like almost as much time in Destiny, if I approach a game and it says 60 hours, I'm like, wow, I don't know if I may never get through that.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely appreciate a wide range of games. So if you go back to old RPGs, I mean, Final Fantasy VII is absolutely one of them.
Of course.
I really liked. I remember one of the things I loved the most was Lunar. I don't know if you ever played
that. Yes. I never got to play it because I was really young when when the heyday of the PlayStation RPGs. All these PlayStation RPGs like Final Fantasy VII, Lunar, Legend of Dragoon, Wild Arms. Actually, it's funny. Actually, I just bought Wild Arms.
Oh, did you? It's
good. It was
good.
on like sale for like 99 cents on the Vita.
That's a great buy.
and I bought it, and I was like, I played like 3 hours of it, but again, like it was like Chris was saying, we have different phases of our life, and when I was younger, I had so much time to burn. I would sink in easily 60 hours into an RPG. Yeah. But now that we're both working and we both, you know, you have your wife
Recently
and I'm getting married right now. Exactly. You know, we don't have that time anymore. So RPGs, well, there's always a special heart in my, like a place in my heart for RPGs. Yeah. Like that's what got me into PlayStation. But yeah,
I did find the time to play through 13. I did manage that. I mean,
oh, that game. That game.
It's a love and hate kind of thing for that game. I mean,
no,
I enjoyed it. But it's just not what Final Fantasy used to be. But
anyway, so some of your favorite games going through the PlayStation ecosystem 1, 2, 3, and 4,
so
and PSP.
Woo! Yeah, just so many things.
Lots.
So those are the older ones. Some of the more recent ones. You probably touched on these, but of course you got the Uncharted and Last of Us. Just fantastic, phenomenal games. Some of the PS2 ones. I'm a sucker for things like Dynasty Warriors. I wouldn't be like they're my most favorite games.
No, I remember. Yeah,
you know, it's just something I enjoy playing.
Of course, cool.
I like strategy games. So games like Front Mission I really like.
Nice. Did you ever play the PS2 one? Front Mission.
I think I played a little bit of it
or something like that. Evolved. No, Evolved. Right. Yeah. Are Front Mission the strategy RPG games?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you said it. Yeah.
With the mechs. I love mech things. I played Armored Core for a while. I'm still waiting for them to make like the perfect Armored Core.
Whatever. Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
So cool.
One of these days. How about you?
I think on PlayStation 1, obviously, PlayStation 1, Final Fantasy VII for sure. The other game that I really liked, the other RPG that I really liked is Legend of Dragoon. Did you ever get to play that one?
I did.
I think that's one of the most underrated RPGs of all time. I think just because Final Fantasy VII really dominated the PlayStation RPG, but I love Final Fantasy IX. I think, to be honest with you, it goes toe to toe with Final Fantasy VII, at least for me. Right. Metal Gear Solid, the original one, Twisted Metal, of course. I really liked two action sports games. I think the height of action sports games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yep, when it first came out.
You know what's funny? My dad. I have a funny story. My dad, he doesn't really like video games that much. But he got us the PlayStation. He got us Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and played the hell out of that game. Serious? It was so funny. Yeah, I would remember sitting down on my couch, and my dad would be like, "Okay, let me just play one game." 3 hours later,
he's got to get that
waiting for him. You've met my dad, right? Like, did you meet him when he was at my engagement party?
Yeah. He was cooking, right? Yeah.
So, yeah, he would play so much Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It was so funny. And I just remember vividly this one time, my dad gets so mad at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater because he couldn't, like, grind forever. I mean, you have to balance your grind, stuff like that or whatever. And he would kept, like, falling down, and I just remember throwing the controller and breaking one of our controllers. It was so... I mean, at the time, I was probably scared, but looking back on it, it's really funny.
That was one of the great things about that game. It was equally as fun to watch as it was to
exactly, play. Yeah. I mean, of course you wanted to play, but yeah, that and Cool Borders, I just remember those games vividly. But in PlayStation 2, Final Fantasy X was awesome. Kingdom Hearts was awesome.
I've never played one.
God, so many games, man. Those are some of my favorite. And then PS3, obviously, Uncharted... Kuni I really liked. I
didn't play that one.
What's that game? Heavy Rain was awesome.
That was awesome.
And of course, PS4 and PS3. Probably, it's starting to become my favorite game of all time, The Last of Us, of course. So that culmination of that. So I'm really excited for the PS4 because I think it has a lot of potentials, and there's not that many games out for it, but I think it's gonna be great.
You can depend on PlayStation for that.
All right, so that was great. I think what we're gonna try to do, sorry to explain this, but what we're gonna try to do is every week introduce the PlayStation, the Dear PlayStation blog, introduce ourselves, and I think hopefully this we'll probably introduce why we're doing this again, probably the next couple episodes, and like just really quick stories about us and stuff like that. But just to get our audience acquainted with us, and hopefully after a while we get into a groove of just going right into it. So I like a lot of other blogs and how they do, or podcasts and how they do this. So we'll just get right into the news in the week. All right. So we'll talk about the news this week, and this is from last Tuesday to this Tuesday. Today is Thursday, and some news has come out in the past couple of days. But for time's sake and for this podcast, let's just do Tuesdays when the game comes out to the next 2
You
days.
have to catch that on the next
Tuesday.
one.
Yeah, so the next one you'll get Wednesday and Thursday plus the next week. So the news for this week, and then feel free to jump in and talk about it anytime, because this is like Podcast Beyond. This is a conversational podcast. We want to be talking. We want to, have this interesting and not be stale and boring. So let's just get right into it. The news for the week, the PlayStation news for the week. The first news is Destiny's PvP Iron Banners event is going on this week.
That's right.
What do you have to say about that? I don't really know what it is. I know that. Go ahead. Explain it to the listeners, because yeah.
So if you've never played Destiny or you're not quite following it this closely, their PvP is called the Crucible. And when you're in the Crucible, your stats, your weapon stats, armor stats, everything like that is normalized. So it doesn't really matter what gun you bring into the fight, except the special abilities are still in effect. So if it's a fast reload, if it has extra ammo, that stuff counts.
Yeah.
But the numbers don't really matter.
Okay.
In the Iron Banner, though, everything counts.
Is it harder? Is it like?
Well,
are the level 30 guys like super cheap in the?
That was the expectation.
Or does the matchmaking kind of put you against kind of the same, level? Around the same level.
Well, I think that's what people expected. Was like if you showed up as a 30 and you were match made with someone that's like a 6.
Oh God!
You should just
kill
wipe
yourself.
the floor with the guy.
Yeah.
But, I haven't gone in there yet. I didn't get a chance to. But I was reading some things on Reddit and stuff like that, and a lot of people were complaining that you didn't really feel the difference in the gear.
Okay.
So
I think you talked about that in your review, actually.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked it out, we have reviews. My reviews were about a year ago, so they're really old games, but check them out. But Chris here just came out with the Destiny review. I know it's been a couple weeks, but you know what? Those kind of games take a couple weeks to really get into it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to review a game, a big game like that in like a couple days.
Yeah. If you had done it without reaching that higher level stuff, you definitely missed a piece of the cake.
Exactly.
But that's the main thing about the Iron Banner was.
Are you gonna play it?
I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
Okay.
Because along with that, there's of course a whole new slew of open things like new armor, new weapons, new things like that are only accessible by the Iron Banner guy.
Cool. Do you get different loot for it then? Like sweeter loot?
Well,
or is it
you
kind
still
of the
get
same
Crucible
thing?
loot.
Okay.
But you can go to the Iron Banner Quartermaster dude, and he has Iron Banner specific.
Oh, really cool. Really cool. All right. Cool. All right. So the next piece of news is number 2, Call of Duty. When you buy Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the PlayStation 3, you get it free for the PlayStation 4 or the other next-gen consoles.
Cross-buy.
What do you think about that? That's crazy, because usually what happens is they have a $10 upgrade system.
Right.
And so this time, you just get it for free. You get 2 games pretty much for the price of 1. So if you still have your PlayStation 3, and maybe you're looking to get a PS4 one day, you get it for free. I think, to me, I think the real reason is Activision or EA, not EA. Is it Activision? Activision and Sledgehammer Games and Treyarch and God, there's too many. Visceral, and I think there's one more. Infinity Ward, the biggest one. I think they want. My opinion is, I think they want people to get the next gen version already. I think they want an incentive to buy the next gen consoles, the PS4, the Xbox One, because they're future proofing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
They want to have the install base there, so that way the next Call of Duty, the install base is going to be there for them to release on the PS4. I think they're really covering their butt by releasing on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, but I think they're also have a little bit of a cent in the future for giving it to you for free.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have the argument that they could just do it like, I think this is the first AAA that's gone cross-buy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of other ones, like I know Assassin's Creed and the other Call of Duties had like a $10 buy-in program, but it wasn't. I mean,
it wasn't just.
It wasn't like just
clear.
giving it to you for free.
I mean, you do have the argument where they could just keep it completely separate.
Go Cowboys!
You gotta.
I get a lot of hate for that. I live in the DC area. It's hilarious.
Not a Cowboys fan. Not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I was born in Houston. Anyway.
Yeah.
So. You have the argument that they could sell it both, but I really think, like you're saying, they want to encourage gamers to start
definitely
stepping up into the new generation. And when is it coming out? Middle of November, right?
4th.
It's
funny. My favorite part about Call of Duty is every single year, it's not the game really, because honestly, my Call of Duty like love for Call of Duty got kind of stale after like Modern Warfare 3. But my favorite part is how everybody just gets out of the way for Call of Duty. Nobody, you ever notice that nobody releases their game when they all move. They all either get delayed, or they just move it to another week. It's so awesome. I love it.
That's smart. I mean, you gotta think about
it's smart.
the gamer's money. You know,
Exactly.
Like a vast majority of gamers are going to pick up that game, and then you're looking right into the holiday season. So it's like, how many dollars do they really have to spend on all these different games?
No, exactly, yeah.
And that's probably one of the other reasons.
Yeah.
Right? Holidays are coming. It's like, you know what? Some people will probably buy it early November,
definitely.
and then get a next gen console, later on in the holidays.
Yeah.
So
that's so true. Yeah. So, what do you think of Call of Duty? Are you gonna get Call of Duty when it comes out?
Again, I'm not a huge Call of Duty guy.
Okay.
I may, just because.
Did you play it like back in the day when it was big?
I mean, I have Ghost.
Okay.
I didn't finish it.
Oh,
I played
nice,
some
cool.
of it. I did play some of the multiplayer. I did play Modern Warfare 3 too, also. I'm just not like huge on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I will get it to play with the friends and everything, but
I think you know what I think.
I haven't pre-ordered it.
I think I probably won't pre-order it. I mean, to be honest with you, I think all our friends are gonna get it.
I'm sure.
I think this is the first true next-gen Call of Duty.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I think Call of Duty Ghosts was intended. I mean, I might be wrong, but it was intended for both systems, for the PS3 and the PS4. But I think this Call of Duty is solely made for the PS4 that's getting ported to the PS3.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get it just because I think a lot of my friends will get it, and I'm excited for it. It's the first Call of Duty I've been excited for in a while, but it's Call of Duty. It's probably gonna be the same every year, so we'll see. Number 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 changes its engine from whatever their Square's engine was to now Epic Games Unreal Engine 4.
That's really unusual for an Eastern company, right?
Yeah, I think a lot, but I mean it's funny because a lot of Japanese developers nowadays are switching to American engines. Yeah, I mean I mean they still kind of make. I mean I can't even think of any of the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I've seen them, and it's just funny how Kingdom Hearts 3 or the Kingdom Hearts franchise is turning to an Unreal Engine, which obviously if you don't know Epic Games, they made Gears of War. It was really popular. They made a bunch of games that use their engine, but I think Gears of War is the most popular one. But it's just, I mean, did you play Kingdom Hearts when
Actually, I've never played Kingdom
Oh
Hearts.
my gosh. Okay. You still have your PS3, right?
I do.
Okay. You owe it to yourself to get Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD, which is just one remastered. And Kingdom Hearts 2 HD comes out pretty soon. So if you ever have just time, I know we have so many games to play. But they're fun, man. Like, you like Dynasty Warriors, you're gonna like Kingdom Hearts.
I don't know why I can't get into watching those characters for some reason.
Okay, so it's the characters?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Disney characters?
And I don't have anything against them.
Yeah.
It's just when I sit down to game, that's not what I want to see.
Okay, that's true. Okay. That's so true. Yeah, I think when I was younger, there was just something about Disney characters and Final Fantasy characters coming together.
It is cool.
I think that when I was like, I don't know how, I think that game came out in like 2001, the first one. And I think I was like, I was really young, probably like really early teens. But I remember I was reading my cousin's Game Informer. He has Game Informer, my cousin's like 10 years older than me. He has Game Informer in his room. And it said Final Fantasy with Disney. And at that moment, I was sold, because
take my money.
Exactly. It's one of those, take my money, here we go. All right, number 4. I don't really care about,
yeah, you're really gonna notice.
I don't really care about, not the resolution, but what I do care about is, it's funny how people got mad because Ubisoft said because they wanted to avoid arguments on both consoles, because one console, we won't name that console.
You're just gonna make
But then they said, I read today, but then they said they want to lock it in for a cinematic experience. I read that today. But the real thing is, I mean, it has to be because they want to avoid conflict. Because one system, Xbox One, doesn't want to try. They
just shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah. So
they just shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. No one would have noticed.
Nobody would have noticed.
Somebody on the internet would have been like, "Oh, I see it's running at 900p," and they're like, "Yeah, so what?" And then boom, that's it. Nope, they gotta be like, "We want to avoid arguments, so we're gonna put 900p," and that was the stupidest decision by Ubisoft. But in the end, what does it really matter?
To bring it down to 900 or to say it?
What?
Is a stupid decision.
A stupid decision to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares what resolution it's at, right? Who cares? No one cares.
You know that one dude, he's going to make his YouTube video where he's analyzing every single picture.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, some dudes on the internet is going to make his video, and he's going to see that it's only 900p. And of course, he's going to bitch about it. But...
and everyone else is too.
But at least you... Exactly. But they're still going to play it.
Like 99% of gamers are not going to sit there with a PS4 and an Xbox One right next to each other and compare the two. You know, it's like you're not going to see the difference.
But the funny part is, now that Ubisoft said it, there's an argument. So, that's it. That's all I have to say on that. Do you have anything else to say on that? Are you going to get the new Assassin's Creed? Do you like Assassin's Creed?
I played the crap out of Black Flag. Like,
yes!
Because it was probably...
Yes! Black Flag was so good!
It was like one of the major games I bought for PS4. And at the time, I wasn't working. I was in between jobs.
Oh, nice.
So I was like,
that's the best. I was unemployed for like 5 months too.
Yeah.
I never gamed so much in my life. Probably the most I've ever gamed since I was like a kid.
Yeah. I did. I achieved everything.
Did you platinum it?
Everything. No, the only thing I did
you gotta go back and platinum.
The only thing I didn't do was, you know how like they have that one where it's like you do every encounter or whatever it is with a certain I don't know. Like you finished it with a certain rating.
Yes.
Like every mission or whatever. Mm-hmm. And after all that, I was like, oh man, I don't really want to go back.
Is the platinum you have to do that? You have to make sure it's the perfect rating.
It's one of the trophies. Yeah.
Damn.
I did everything else.
But so you have 99% of those trophies.
I'm almost positive.
Dude, you have to go back. Listeners, if you think that he should go back, comment on the comments for Chris to platinum that game, because that's just atrocious, man.
We talked about not having time, man. I'm trying to play Destiny right now. I'm trying to play some new games for us to talk about in this podcast.
Platinum, man. Are you a trophy hunter? Because I'm like, I don't let it affect me, but when I see I can get that platinum, I'm all in for it.
I'm the same way.
I'm all in for it.
I don't go in thinking I'm going to platinum this game.
Exactly.
But the minute I get to see the list and I'm like, oh, that's all I got to do, I will start doing it.
Exactly. The worst ones are when they have online trophies. You have to like do crazy, like do 500 kills or something. You know, I'm just like, whatever. But I really do like platinums. I mean, does it make or break the game for me? But it also depends on the game. Like Last of Us, I want to spend as much time with that game as possible.
I may try for him in the PS4 version. I didn't read the story.
I didn't even. I just beat I think I just beat the game once on PS3, and I was so enamored with that game that I didn't want my memory. I didn't want my memory to be messed up from my first because that was my playthrough. That was my Joel and Ellie, and I didn't want it to get messed up. And so I haven't played the PS3 version. I only played it once, the story once. Yeah. I didn't even play online. But when the PS4 version came on, man. It looks so pretty, but I want to spend as much time with that game, but I don't want to platinum it like boom, 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 boom. I want to let it be drawn on so I can get the platinum.
But yeah, I will probably get the next Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Unity looks tight. And I don't know if I'm gonna get Rogue because I don't want to play my PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
But if it's good, we'll see.
Less reasons to go back there.
It's good. We'll see. The Crew has a new release date. It has been delayed. The Crew, which is an open world RPG racing game, RPG, I don't know if that's even right, but it's definitely an open world racing game, has been delayed from November 14th to December 2nd. Do you care about that story?
Well, I haven't been following The Crew all that much.
Okay.
But the fact
it looks really cool. It looks different. I mean, it's open world.
Yeah.
I saw people playing it. I saw IGN actually playing it, and they actually got to drive from New York all the way to Seattle or down to San Francisco. It's so cool.
The fact that they describe it as a car RPG, I'm like, I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it sounds really cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty new.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It definitely has potential. I'm really excited for Drive Club. We'll talk about that later because it's kind of been a big mess since it's been released. But I'll play Drive Club. I don't really like racing games. I think I loved racing games more. Do you remember a game called Initial D?
Absolutely.
I played so much of that game that was really my love. My love for cars happened when Initial D happened.
Really?
Yeah. And I watched the anime. I played in the arcades, obviously.
Yeah, that was the best.
And then Initial D put me into sim racing in Gran Turismo, obviously. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec was probably my favorite racing game of all time. And I played that, and I loved racing games, but my love for him has been lost. Gran Turismo 4 was whack. Gran Turismo 5 I didn't even touch.
Yeah.
I hope Gran Turismo 6 now. Is that what they're gonna make for the PlayStation 4? I think Gran Turismo 6, when that comes out,
I'll get it
sick.
just to see it.
Next gen? Oh, it's
just
to
see it.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
It already looks good, you know.
Exactly. But the crew, we'll see. We'll see.
Early December, it's not bad.
Yeah. Reports are saying that, statistics are saying that Netflix, there's a declining there's declining Netflix streaming on consoles nowadays. Stats are saying that not as many people are streaming on the consoles for Netflix anymore. Mm-hmm. What do you any thoughts on that?
Well, you've got I don't know. For me personally,
yeah. Do you watch Netflix or do you have Netflix?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, who
but
doesn't?
I use the Chromecast for it.
Nice, me too.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't have any Apple products, but I use the Chromecast for it most of the time.
Nice.
Like typically, when I fire up my console, I fire it up the game. You know, and it's every once because when I watch stuff with my wife.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't usually transition from gaming into watching
That's
something,
so true.
even though I could.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That's not usually the flow.
Yeah.
Or
I think a big part of it is back in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, and when we had the 360 and the PS3, a lot of people were using their consoles for multimedia devices.
Yeah.
I think if we look back even earlier, we saw the PS2 simply as a gaming console.
Yeah.
And so when these new consoles came out and they can play Blu-rays and they can play DVDs and they can play Netflix and stream, HBO Go and all these things, people were going crazy for it because that was the first time that people could stream stuff on it.
Yeah.
But I think in the past couple of years we've almost seen gaming make a comeback.
Go back to gaming.
Yeah. I mean, you can even see that with the PlayStation 4. Their message has been since day one, we're about the gamers. And you look at, and then Xbox One's message from day one has been about this is a multimedia device.
Yeah. But you have a lot of TVs can do it on their own.
Exactly, exactly. And plus that, yeah.
And so many people already have a media-centric device like an Apple TV,
exactly,
or a Chromecast, or whatever, a Roku,
Exactly.
So I think that really went in PlayStation's favor, where somebody had the crystal ball and said, you know what, they don't need this stuff anymore.
Yeah, which is funny because PS3 was kind of, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I mean, we both love the PS3. That's our system, obviously, but it's almost like they completely flipped.
Yeah.
And was like, we just need to go back to the basics.
And it's worked.
So applaud PlayStation. But you know what? To be honest with you, I think the more Netflix is on every device in the world, I think the better. Yeah. Netflix is a great service. House of Cards.
I have not watched it yet.
Oh man, check it out! Check it out. What's your go-to on Netflix? What do you and your wife watch on a Saturday night?
We watch more Hulu right now. Oh, actually, no. I watched Google Play. We watched a lot of stuff on that.
Oh really? How is that service?
It's good.
Okay.
I mean, it's not. You gotta pay for everything.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Yeah, cool. All right, 2 more news stories. Number 1, 2, whatever. Number blah blah blah. PlayStation Plus subscriptions fees has risen in select areas. These select areas, I think Australia, and there's rumor that the UK
really
is rising.
They always get hosed with prices.
Yeah, Australia gets. Sorry, Australia, you get wrecked.
Sorry, guys.
I think it's like $110 to buy a game there.
Oh my God.
Something like that.
Forget it. I considered moving there. Forget it.
I would never move there. There's crazy animals over there. That's why I would never move to Australia.
Because of the animals?
Yeah, they got spiders that are this big. I swear. And spiders are I've seen them, and I'm like, nope, I'm never going to Australia. You go swimming, you get attacked by a great white shark.
Or jellyfish. They're this big.
Yeah, they're the most dangerous. You know about this, right? Yeah. The most dangerous animal in the world is a jellyfish about that big. It will kill you. I'm never going to Australia. I don't care. Everybody in the world can die from Ebola, and Australia could be the last living place on Earth. I'm not going. Never going to Australia.
You're gonna jolt it up.
I'm jolting it up. Jolting it up. So I mean, what do you think about that? I hope PlayStation Plus subscriptions don't rise in North America. It's the best bang for your buck, and I've been a subscriber since day one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Day one, I've been a subscriber.
I wouldn't like to see it, but if it did go up,
we would pay for it.
There's so much value.
Yeah, we would pay for it. We would pay for it.
They got us. They kind of got us by the balls.
They do. They do, and they can rise it $19.99. But I think there's a danger zone. I think PlayStation and Sony are in such a good sweet spot right now that they can do whatever, but they want to be very careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they try to do it before. They try to do all these things before, you know, with I can't even name an example, but like what's that? What is it called when a device only works with one device, like memory cards for the Vita?
Oh yeah, proprietary.
PlayStation tried to do with proprietary.
Stop doing that, guys.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Worst
But they try to
ever.
do it with proprietary stuff, and it backfired on them.
Yeah.
Why is the Vita not getting a lot of buyers on it? Because there's a lot of proprietary stuff on it. And I believe that it's a lot of things, but I think one of the reasons has to be proprietary.
Yeah.
Like if you could put like a 64 gig SD card, and you can find those things on the internet for like $10.
Or even if the Vita cards were more reasonably priced.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. With pricing, there's a danger zone for PlayStation. I think the danger zone is when Sony gets into the sweet spot, and then they're like, okay, let's raise prices a little bit.
Well, how much would be too much for you?
I'm not going more than $20 for PlayStation Plus.
So it's more than what it is. So
$20 a month, or $20.
$20 a month.
$20 a month. That's a lot. It's like paying for a new game. I'm not going over $60 for PlayStation Plus because I think $49.99 is a sweet spot. But I think once they go over $60 in a set, could you see yourself paying $70 for PlayStation Plus a year?
Well, I mean,
$99 for PlayStation a year. Where are you going?
Well, if 90's gonna make me think about it.
$99.
But I mean, yeah, like I turn on my PS4 and next month and I see a good, not brand new, but a good game on there that's maybe at least worth $40 right now.
Yeah, no.
Definitely could have been worth 50 or definitely
Sure.
60. But I mean that's the thing. Like, it's hard to argue because you do get a ton of value.
You do.
On it.
And I applaud PlayStation for that, but I think there's just a danger zone. There's a danger zone of their customers just seeing through the bullcrap. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they do anything. I'm sure.
Yeah.
The internet's gonna
Of
outrage.
Of course, yeah, of course. You can raise it by $1, the internet will be going crazy. But yeah, I'm sure we can talk about that forever.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't think it'll happen here. I don't think.
I don't think so either. I think North America, they're making so much dough off of North America. I think they're fine.
If they do, they'll win like inflation or something.
Exactly right. Exactly. All right. Last news: Little Big Planet 3 bundle PlayStation 4 leaked by a retailer. I think Amazon leaked it, or Amazon. I think South Africa or something like that. Which I think.
Did you play those?
I have them on my console. I played a little bit of them. I really like the idea of Little Big Planet, but I think Little Big Planet came out at a time when there was just too many games for me to play. Mm-hmm. So it kind of got lost in the translation. But
friends of mine, we played the first one. I mean, this is like 4 dudes, okay?
Four dudes, one controller.
Yeah, we sat down and we played the crap out of the first one.
Yeah.
Like, we just had such an outrageously good time with it.
Yeah. Sweet.
But then I didn't have time to play the second one at all. But I jumped into it and I did download it because my wife, because she games a bit.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Stop recording. Sorry. Here you go. Sorry. Hello. Okay. Sorry, our podcast stopped. But yeah, go ahead.
So my wife, she enjoys games. I mean, she's not a gamer, but she'll play games. But she's really down with things like Mario and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Maybe we should play some Little Big Planet. It'd be fun with her and fun with her younger brothers who are 11 and 13 right now.
Okay.
So I downloaded it. I mean, it took forever to get all the updates because there's just so much content now.
Yeah.
And I was kind of excited to get into it.
Yeah, no.
But now I'm looking forward, and I'm like, well, 3 is like right around.
Are you gonna get 3?
I probably will.
Comes out my birthday.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think so. November. I think it's November. I think it's November 18th. Yeah. I think it's November 18th. My birthday's November 16th. So
I'll buy it just.
We'll see. Oh yeah, we should play it. It'd definitely be fun.
I think fun.
Yeah, I think I never really got to play Little Big Planet like crazy, but when I did play it with my cousins and my brother, we played multiplayer and we played from Shark Level. Do you remember that Shark Level?
I think so.
It's like you try to run through the water on these like little like platforms, and then these sharks go crazy and they like come out of the water.
That's the thing, like
it's really cool. You can make anything you want in that game.
And when they went to 2, they really upped the ante on what you can create.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was really excited to see, like everything they're doing, because you could just make a game in the game.
Yeah.
And so I imagine 3 is going to be even more crazy.
3 is going to be crazy. And did you hear about 3, right? Everything from 1 and 2, every user-generated level is going to be
carry over.
Yep, everything carries over. It's going to be awesome.
That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get it. Yeah. So it'll be good. All right, that's it for the news. Let's just jump into new releases. Do you want to go over the new releases?
All right, so
for next week. You got the new one, right?
Did you? I don't know.
Oh, this is the old one. Sorry, let me give it to you.
I've got the old list.
Yeah, let me give you the new list. Sorry.
Okay, so
there you go.
Coming up for this week, for the PlayStation 4, we've got Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition, a game that I did not play, but I heard was fantastic.
Me neither. I had it on my PlayStation 3 because I think it was PlayStation Plus, but I deleted it because I knew that one was coming out.
I heard it was fantastic. So. We also have Peggle 2 coming out and The Evil Within.
Do you know about Peggle 2?
I played the first Peggle.
Did you?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's actually alright. Yeah, I mean, it's a really simple game, but then the whole thing about it.
If you don't, I don't know. So explain to me like I'm a 4-year-old kid.
Well, so it's just you have a level that's got random, kind of pinballish. You know, you've got random little things.
Oh yeah.
That are blocking the ball. So your goal is to get.
Is it like
fire the ball
okay.
and then knock out all the
Is it like what's it called? Bust the move.
Sort of, but in the other direction.
Oh,
so the ball goes down.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I think. I don't know, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was when you finally achieved the goal, there was this like uproarious celebration from the donkey who's like the mascot or whatever.
That's funny.
And it played the I forget the name of the song, but it's like it's hilarious. You should just watch it. And that was part of the best. That was like one of the best things is watching that goal.
Are you gonna get it?
Probably not.
Okay, that's fine.
Too many other things.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the Evil Within is the last one.
Oh man, Evil Within. Huh?
So,
finish the list and we can talk about whatever games you wish.
And then so going back to PS3, we have Tears to Tiara 2, Heir of the Overlord. Evil Within is also coming out for PS3, and then Borderlands the pre-sequel. And then coming to Vita next week is only Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. And then coming to PS Plus, which should be available
it's
to
out
you
right
now.
Yeah.
Drive Club, well, that was pushed back.
Yeah.
It was initially available to you, not anymore.
Yeah.
Dust, Spelunky, Batman, Dungeons and Dragons, Pix the Cat, and Rainbow Moon on multiple consoles. We're not going to list them all here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Those are your upcoming releases.
Yeah. Evil Within, thoughts?
Yeah. So I suck when it comes to scary things. Like I'm just my imagination is just too vivid. Right. Some games I just cannot play, but this one I kind of want to play. Actually, no, but I did watch it.
I'm gonna make this guy when we have our extra life thing. I'm gonna make this guy play it. You seen the whole thing?
Yeah, I've seen
it. No, it's different. You gotta play it because you know about that game, right? It's different for every playthrough. It's not the same. That's crazy. So like people's playthroughs, I was watching someone's playthrough, completely different from my playthrough. So I'm gonna make this guy play in the dark. With the camera, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm the worst.
So, but are you gonna get Evil Within? Can you play it? You think?
I might get it. I watched the initial trailer that I saw for it. I was interested.
Yeah.
And then they released a couple of more trailers recently, which, on the one hand, they show you a lot more of the game, which kind of, on the one hand, it sucks because you don't want to see all that. But then it also explains a lot of the mechanic of the game itself. So from what I saw, and I believe it's by the same guy that made.
Let's pause it real quick. I want to make sure that it's playing because it said this is really slow because I have so much memory on my hard drive. I forgot my external at Face House, but we'll just see. Sound okay? Okay. We're gonna pick up. Okay. We'll end it soon.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Like an
ready?
echo.
You heard the echo?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's gonna be back cool anyway. Do you remember where you left off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, the guy who directed it or created it was
Resident Evil.
The original
Resident Evil guy. Right? Yeah, the original guy.
And there was another game too that he was a part of, which is also.
I don't remember. Resident Evil's really the only one that matters. To be honest.
But it looks like it's going back to that. Where
yes, which I really like because I hate Resident Evil now because they got too actiony.
It's too actiony.
It's too actiony.
You know, and it looks like it's going back in that direction, which is exciting.
Which we like.
And it totally looks gruesome.
Yeah,
nasty.
I don't know if I'm sold on it yet because everything that I've seen looks a little actiony for me. I really like campy. I mean, Alien just came out, and I was really excited for that game. But all the reviews came out, and I don't know if I'm excited for it anymore. But yeah. I like more of those tier games where it tries to spook you. Because I was watching gameplay videos of Evil Within, and it did look a little bit actiony to me. I hope that it's campy and things will jump out and attack you and stuff like that, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get it. It might have to be pushed back.